Welcome to County Portal, your simple source for local government services and public records. Let's get started.
Today we're tackling a critical question. What are the income limits to get a public defender? The short and frustrating answer is that there is no single, nationwide number. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of the criminal justice system. The right to an attorney, even if you can't afford one, is guaranteed by the Sixth Amendment of the Constitution and was solidified in the landmark Supreme Court case Gideon v. Wainwright. However, the federal government doesn't set the specific financial rules for who qualifies. Instead, that responsibility falls to individual states, and often, it's even decided at the county or court district level. This means the income limit to get a public defender in Miami, Florida could be completely different from the limit in rural Montana. So, how do they figure it out? Most jurisdictions start with the Federal Poverty Guidelines, which are issued each year by the Department of Health and Human Services. A court will typically say you are eligible if your household income is at or below a certain percentage of that guideline, often 125% or sometimes up to 200%. For example, if the poverty line for a single person is about $15,000, a 125% threshold would mean you'd have to make less than about $18,750 per year. But it's rarely just about your paycheck. The court is trying to determine if you are indigent, which means you don't have the financial means to hire a private lawyer without substantial hardship. To do this, they look at your whole financial picture. When you go to your first court appearance, the judge will ask if you have a lawyer. If you say no and that you can't afford one, you'll be given a financial affidavit or application to fill out. This is a sworn statement, so you must be truthful. On that form, you'll list not just your income, but also your assets, like cash in the bank, cars, or property. You will also list your necessary expenses, such as rent, childcare, medical bills, and support payments for dependents. The number of people who depend on your income is a huge factor. The judge or a court official reviews this entire application to decide if you qualify. In some cases, you might be found partially indigent, meaning the court will appoint a public defender, but you might have to pay back some of the cost over time through small fees. This system creates a difficult situation for many working people who make just enough money to be disqualified for a public defender but not nearly enough to afford the thousands of dollars a private attorney can cost. This is often called the justice gap. So, the key takeaway is this: eligibility for a public defender isn't a simple income cutoff. It's a complex evaluation of your entire financial situation, and the specific rules vary significantly depending on where you live. I hope this explanation helps demystify the process. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful and want more simple explanations of complex legal topics, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out.